On today's episode of Watch Chair Go, we are back on my 65 Ford F100 custom cab, and today we're going to start getting rid of this junk, this old 2-barrel carb that is anemic and has a leaking accelerator pump and always stinks. I mean, what is going on, guys? I am Watch Chair Go, and like I said, we're back on the 65 Ford F100, and I'll give you a little preview of what's going on here. We have this old original cast iron intake on here. Of course, this is a Ford FE, which I now strongly dislike because of how the intake is set up. The intake is actually kind of part of the head, and if you take a look here, the push rods go through the intake. That's where the push rods come up, and here's the ports right there. To install this intake, we have to take a lot of the engine apart. Valve covers have to come off, rockers have to come off, push rods have to come out. So much stuff has to come off the engine, and of course all the coolant runs through there too, so this coolant elbow. Yesterday, Josh was like, we should clear coat this. So it is clear coated now. Before we even milled it, we clear coated it, and you can see there's our milling. It looks really good. Tough to get the camera really close to that, but we took about a ½ inch out, scribed a ½ inch 0.500 line, and then we took the mill down and just took all that out with an end mill, and then cleaned it up today. And we made it worse, but we cleaned it up with a file so that there's more of a smooth flow across that edge right there. The reason for this is if you're running a dual plane with a Holley Sniper, the map sensor needs to be able to measure the flow across both sides of both planes, that is. So if you have the center divider that you would normally have in a dual plane intake, it causes a bunch of problems and it can't really self-tune or run right. So Edelbrock makes some intakes that have air gaps in them, or they just do this from the factory. We had to do it ourselves because we already had this intake here. It is brand new, but you know, go ahead and void the warranty and go from there. This prevents us from having to run a spacer or anything like that. I want it to be tidy, compact, nothing ridiculous. We're just gonna bolt that thing in and make horsepower. So another benefit to this is that this aluminum one you can pick up by hand. I don't want to do it right now because it's a little precarious, but I can pick this up with one hand. This cast iron one, we think that intake probably weighs 100 pounds. So we're taking a whole bunch of weight out of the front of the truck. That's going to help performance. We're putting a real fuel injection system on it. I have a deep-seated hatred of carburetors, and I can't wait for that to go away and have something that we won't ever have to maintenance again, hopefully. I mean, most fuel injection systems, 20 plus years, no maintenance, no problem. This, work on it every single year. A lot of this wiring is going to get cleaned up, and let's take you over to the fun area here. We've been laying out all of the new sauce, and I can't tell you how excited I am. This is like the Christmas list, dream list of how to make old engines awesome. Holley Sniper EFI dual sync distributor right there. This is the Sniper EFI coil driver. Holley did note that if you use this coil driver, you're limited to about 400 horsepower. Personally, I think we're limited to about 250 horsepower, but right now we're just gonna go with this. I went with the small coil driver, and that's gonna let us reuse the Ford coil that's on the truck. Of course, there's the dual sync. This is the special dual sync adapter. It's already on it. You do have to buy that separately to use this with the Sniper. It plugs in. Here's the Sniper harness right here, and the O2 sensor right here is where that thing will plug in. So honestly, almost every single thing on this is plug and play at this point. There's minimal wiring. I mean, here's the diagram. And we're down to only using TAC output, coolant temp sensor will be there, fuel pump, switched ignition, coil input yellow. That's it. That's how simple this is going to be. Like 4 wires to put fuel injection on a truck. Here's all of our plumbing, fuel pump mounts, gasket for the Sniper right there, fuel line. We're not gonna do this. I'm gonna go get a bung. I better run to O'Reilly's right now and take the O2 sensor, and hopefully they can, hopefully they have a bung in stock so we can just drill a hole and weld it. Fuel filter, another fuel filter is a pre to post. Fuel pressure regulator, fuel pump right there in line. Here's the Sniper itself, and here is the output harness. And honestly, I don't even need this because the only wire in there is TAC output. Oh wait, coil driver. Yellow one's coil driver or something. So I do need that. Gotta have one wire out of it. But this is so simple. If anyone thinks this is complex, you're not wrong. This stuff's easy. It's like installing a carburetor with a couple wires hanging off it. Now that we've talked about what's going on the truck, here's what's already on the truck. We have this big fuel tank right here. We just measured it. It's 10 by 17 by 26 inches, and that gives us about a 20-gallon volume in that tank. I think we're gonna go ahead and use this tank. It's sumped right there. You guys can see that. There's just a line coming out of it. I don't love that. That means it probably doesn't have a real pickup tube. It's literally just like a fitting welded into the side. Under hard acceleration, that thing must starve. But we're just gonna go with it. It's better than using the tank in the cab because it smells like fuel in the cab all the time, and we wanna put a stop to that. So I'm not gonna put any more fuel in the cab. Here we are back up front. I think the first thing for me to do is go get more heater hose because these lines are gonna get swapped out. They are very nice, but all of this junk here is going away. This like preheated spacer and all that stuff. No point in any of that. The vacuum advance on the distributor is going away because the distributor is changing. All of these wires are gonna go away. This is gonna be so clean. It's clean and mean. That's the story with the F100, and I'm pumped. Let's get started. I grabbed the O2 sensor. Here we are at O'Reilly's, and we're gonna try to find a bung. I hope they have one in stock because it'll make my life easy. We grab some parts. Let's get back to work.
Can't see the back one.
You're almost there. All right, we're gonna go ahead and just pull this carb because reasons. So that should be our kick down linkage off. There you go. Nice, nice. I tried to like cover you and I was not having any luck covering you.
That last one's gonna need a wrench.
Okay. We're also gonna need a screwdriver and some pliers to pull that rear vacuum line, it looks like. You're all right there?
Yeah.
You like how we've got like 20 different clamps holding this thing together?
I'm not sure there's enough.
I'd like to simplify that to no clamps. A in line maybe. We're gonna hide all this. Oh, I need to go get a block off plate for the mechanical fuel pump because we can throw away that line right there. And the mechanical fuel pump on this thing is right, it's right down there. Tough to see. You can just see like a little tiny line coming out of the bottom of the engine.
It's not a vacuum pump too, is it?
No.
Some of these old ones are. Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is just a simple fuel pump.
Got it.
Nice.
Got the removal tool here.
Cool. Built just for taking vacuum lines off cars.
One. And there's some kind of an EGR or a heater.
Oh yeah, there is a line to the choke right there.
I said EGR, but I'm pretty sure that acronym did not exist when this truck was made.
No, it's definitely just choke heat.
Yeah.
If I remember right, the carburetor's vacuum pulls air across the choke to make that coil warm up fast.
There it goes.
Boom. Man, that thing looks like an old piece of junk. That a Carter or something?
Ooh.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's like an auto light.
Run! The fuel's coming back out the front. The fuel coming out of this at certain times, there you go, pure orange. Nasty junk. Not quite sure what just fell off though. Oh, one of the clips. Here, do that again if you can. Out of the secondary or something. That is trash. Man, no wonders it was running poorly. It's time to really start ripping now. Carb's off, we're gonna pull all of these heater hoses, start dumping the coolant down because of course all the coolant runs through the intake, as you can see. That's where the thermostat goes right there on the new intake. We're gonna de-wire it, pull the distributor. I went ahead and marked the distributor, pull, you know, wires off the coil and everything. Better just get right to work. All we gotta do now is actually do it. So, there we go. Distributor vacuum advance is already off because it was on the carb. You can pull the wires off the engine. We're gonna replace the plugs. I don't have those yet, but I'll run and get them. Pull all the wires out of the combs. All right, all that is out of there. Look at that, that one doesn't even have a boot on it. It's probably jumping to the exhaust or something. The first valve cover's off. Coolant's draining down. That looks so much cleaner already. I am getting the fuel line off from the tank, and I'm about to make that happen. That thing did snap clean off, huh?
Yeah, it put the smallest amount of torque on it. It'd been heat cycled so many times. It just
Boom.
was so brittle.
Wow. These push rods and rockers all seem to look all right. It really is too bad that these run through the intake.
Yeah, so we'll have to loosen. So we don't have to reset the rockers because they're shaft mounted.
Sure.
So we'll just pull the 4 bolts, pull the
lift it
shaft off.
just a little bit.
Pull all your push rods out. Now these we will want to number and keep in order.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because of the flat tappet cam.
Yep. I'm excited about how empty the engine bay looks already.
Yeah.
Without all this junk up here. Hopefully it looks really clean as we put it back.
I can't wait to see how much the cast iron intake weighs versus the aluminum.
100%. Way less.
What do we guess?
Oh, 50 pounds lighter.
50 pounds.
That's our hope.
I'll definitely need your help lifting that out.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I'm here for it. Under the truck, I'm completely covered in gas all the way up to my armpit here. It's all burning a little bit because we finally got all the fuel line off of this thing and it was a bit of a nightmare. There's the cut line right there. We got a plug on it. I'm trying to get all that old junk off. I think my game plan is putting the fuel pump like right there inside the frame rail. I'm gonna cut the old fuel line out because there's no reason to keep it, and we can make this thing look clean and put all the filters in there too. Ready to pull the intake off. There's our distributor keeper. Put it over here on the distributor side. And I have a feeling some coolant's gonna move around. There's all the bolts, throttle cable brackets out of the way. That's good. Boom. Wow. This is what that weighs. What? Too bad we can't just use the engine
I
one.
have to go over here because I'm going to have to come out the front.
Yeah.
Wow. Wasn't kidding, right?
No. Okay. Down. Okay, where to?
I can do it from here.
Oh,
It's easier if one of us does it.
Okay.
Less coolant. Spill. Oh, God.
Going outside. That was the perfect shot, though. It's like the same weight as a Prius engine, isn't it?
I'm going to guess that's 58 pounds.
Oh, okay, all right. I was like, let me take a gander. Yeah, that
Maybe
thing's,
68.
it might be 68, 70 pounds.
I'm going to go get a
Scale?
I'm going to go get a scale. We're going to find out.
This is Josh's system of weighing. It's a glass scale. Turn on scale. 52.
That's the difference between the intakes.
That's what we thought. We were going to save 50 pounds. Literally 50 pounds lighter going to this Edelbrock Performer. Uh-oh, math.
Yeah, it was 284.
284. Wow, that is a big difference.
So what is that? 79 pounds
Yep,
that intake weighs?
that's about what we guessed. 70 pounds.
God.
Still under the truck here, I've got my step bit and I'm drilling out that hole so we can get a grommet in there and the much larger new fuel line. I have made a giant mess out of this counter. You have to actually get the Holley Sniper master kit instructions. So I went and found that PDF, went through everything, and it looks like everything was on point. The only thing I was missing is that you have to add a return. So we're gonna have to pump down this fuel tank completely. I did drain a lot of it all over my shirt and my arm and everything like that, but we're gonna have to drain all of it, drop that tank down. There's 2 bolts holding it. That looks pretty doable. And they're sitting right through the bed there. And then plumb in a return. It comes off the regulator right there. And all of these fittings are bulkhead fittings, so you can do the return. And then this drops down inside the tank right here. So I got that set up, went ahead and put the clamp on it, and all that's left now is the fun part, drilling a hole in the fuel tank. So we'll have to get all the fuel out of it, let it air out, put some purge on it, and then drill that hole, and then we'll have to clean up our mess, of course. This morning we came out to a site, and as you can imagine, the site was fuel all over the floor. Not tons and tons, but from here to the other side of the truck, basically, we had a cap over the line, this copper line that comes off the tank right here. That copper line right there. It had a plug over it, and that plug decided to start leaking overnight, just a drip, and it sat there and dripped and dripped and dripped. So everything smells like gas now, and that's taken a while to get this problem solved. As soon as I heard, I went and got like 5 gas cans and my transfer pump, and we sucked every bit of gas out of both tanks in the truck. We're planning on ever refilling that tank and using this tank from now on. But that said, you can see the pump is in, and the pre-filter's in, and the line's in, and all that good stuff. So all that's left is the post filter, but I'm gonna wait till I've got the wires on the pump before I do the post filter, of course. It'll be a lot easier to access the wires. They're gonna be ring terminals, and gotta be able to get a wrench on there. After the regulator's on and the return's plumbed, we will be good to go. No problem. Okay, it's go time.
I'm doing it.
Doing it?
I can do this one myself.
Corners are filled with RTV. Oh man, I just stepped in all that coolant. Nailed it. Nailed it. Nice, man. I think it's perfect. We just went to Ace Hardware and I picked up some hardware. Stainless bolts for the intake, so it'll stay looking pretty. That's our goal here.
Oh, I was gonna take that off first.
Oh yeah, we should take that off. That's kind of a mess. You are clear. All right. After many trips to the hardware store, the new intake is bolted on. We got stainless hardware on there, and that should be the valve covers. Rockers are back in. Deep 3/4 for the coolant temp sensor. There we go. Run it down. The old coolant temp sensor wires get to go away. A whole bunch of stuff's going away. We've been knocking stuff out. The whole top end of the engine, it's back together. I got the tank out. I was like, all right, tank's coming down. We're gonna drill a hole and put this return in here. Should be no big deal.
There's a whole lot less parts here.
Yeah, all the parts are gone.
Dude, we're killing it.
And but then like this, there already has a return hole. I guess we could just shove a hole in the hole and it'd be just fine, right?
Yeah, I got some cardboard maybe.
Little duct tape.
Yikes.
So, hey, look at that. It has an anti-slosh baffle. That's pretty cool. It's baffled right there. I was not expecting it to be a baffled tank. Well, I guess we need something to plug that hole and make it look like it used to have a tank there. And we're going to use the other one. We're getting a new one. But I think that's our stopping point because we need to get a tank. And we think we can get one tomorrow, locally. This tank was a disaster that we were not expecting. I planned to just rip this thing out, put the purge on it, drill a hole, and put it right back in, like 5 minutes of work. Oh well. What can you do? You just got to keep right on working, and maybe we'll find a plastic one to put in there. Plastic tanks are so much better. No problems with rust, and you don't have to keep them full, and they're just better. Take a look under the hood. Take a look under the hood. Oh, did the distributor finally drop in?
Yeah.
Sweet. I wasn't up here for distributing. That's for sure. That looks beautiful. Oh man. Well, that's a big change. Intake's on, Sniper's chilling there, distributor's in the hole. This is gonna be awesome. All the new plugs are in. We still need to drill a hole and put an O2 bung in, but that's basically it. Well, I'm gonna try to get a gas tank for you guys by tomorrow. The closest one I've found is in Kansas City. We'll see if that works out. I don't know if it's going to, but it's all this holding us back. Maybe we're just gonna go ahead and use this tank. Up front, it's a very different story. It looks amazing. I just came back, got a new air filter. Our K&N didn't fit, unfortunately. We got some wire looms, quick O'Reilly's run. Those guys were awesome. They got me in even though like they were closing the door and I showed up. Distributor, wires, looks amazing. Sniper, sitting on there, looks amazing. I've got a lot of wiring to do. That'll probably be its own episode because it will take a minute. It's only like 3 or 4 wire connections, but I want to do it right, take some time, and I think we're going to tape up every single loose wire that's not in a taped up factory loom so that it all matches the taped up factory wires. The goal is for it to look exactly like it did from the factory. Apparently I just ran off and left my fuel pump gasket up there. I only need that because I want to install a fuel pump block off and get that off there. Obviously it's a very, very, very small load, maybe like a 1/2 horsepower, but I want that out there. We're cleaning and cleaning and cleaning until this thing is nice, simplified, and running great. Mechanical fuel pumps, happy to see those gone too. Super excited about the electric one. Super easy to maintenance if anything's ever wrong, and it's back on the frame. So the intake's on. Almost everything else is on. This is farther than I ever thought we were going to get in this short of a time period. We're cranking through this. Hopefully in the next episode, you guys get to see all of the Sniper stuff go on, and maybe even then it'll start. Maybe the day after that it'll start, but it's probably going to start by Wednesday this week. As always, thank you guys so much for watching the channel, and a huge thank you to all the new Patreon supporters. You guys just keep coming, and it just blows my mind. Thank you so much for that. We couldn't do any of this without you guys. And don't forget to head on over to shopwatchshare.com where you can get cool shirts like not like this. And please like, share, subscribe, do whatever you want to do, and I will talk to you next time. It's so close already. Look at that. The thermostat's in, the housing's in, it's ready for coolant. So excited. A new heater hose. We've got all new heater hose, all new fuel line, everything in it is brand new, so that gets the dirt out of the system, takes all the worry out of it. Yes, I'm so pumped.